then recap the Dogs' final game at San Jose State.
Plus, we look at how the Dogs heading to the Arizona Bowl. Your Fresno State Focus on Sports starts right now. Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus on Sports. I'm Finley Pendergast.
And I'm Evan Prater. This is your Focus on Sports.
Let's start things off with some Bulldog basketball. The Fresno State men's basketball team is in the middle of a road trip. The Bulldogs took on the 25th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks this past weekend. After the Bulldogs' last game against Cal State Bakersfield, head coach Vance Wahlberg said he was excited to go against a good friend in John Calipari. Both teams got off to a slow start, missing multiple jump shots. But after 20 minutes of action, the Dogs found themselves only down 10, 34-24. Then the Razorbacks came out hot in the second half, going on a 22-6 run. The Razorbacks' second half efficiency was too much for the Dogs to overcome as they lost 82-58. The Bulldogs struggled, shooting 35% from the field and just 14% from beyond the arc. That's been a problem all year. They're back on the road to take on Cal State Northridge this Wednesday.
The Dogs were back home on Saturday, taking on the Pepperdine Waves. From the opening tip, the Dogs struggled to keep up the Pepperdine's offense. The Dogs trailed 28-19 at the half. A bright spot was grad student Amelia Long, who shot a career-high 23 points. It was not enough. The Dogs lost 65-45. Fresno State falls to 5-4 on the season. The next game at St. Mary's College tomorrow. Tip-off is set for 6:30. The Dogs have one more game this season. With this first season under Matt Entz complete, the Dogs had a strong defense that was responsible for the season's biggest wins. A dominating win to close the regular season in San Jose. The Dogs forced 5 turnovers and a powerful run game led the offense. The Dogs ran wild in San Jose with 259 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns to keep the Valley Trophy. The Dogs now move their focus to their game on December 27th.
So let's look ahead to that game as the Dogs accepted an invite to play in the Arizona Bowl. Fresno State will play Miami of Ohio out of the Mid-American Conference. The Dogs are looking to end their season on a high note. Both offenses have had their struggles and relied on their defenses to win games. It will be the Dogs' last game as a member of the Mountain West Conference. Fresno State will join the Pac-12 next year. Looking past this bowl game into the future of Fresno State football, how does this program look?
Right now, this whole season was just like this, up and down. It started off really rough with that bad loss at Kansas on the road.
Which was expected.
Yes, and we came back at home and beat Southern, and I do think we did really start to pick up. Our defense was stout all year. The one thing that couldn't really compliment them was the offense. Our rushing offense was good, but we couldn't really throw it down the field, and that really showed up in the Colorado State game.
That was a tough road loss on a Friday night. Come back the next week. Or 2 weeks after that, against on homecoming, San Diego State took them down. Made the QB switch, went back to E.J. Warner, finished the season strong, but that rushing game is where they want to live at. And going into this next season, the QB conversation is all we're going to be talking about. Is Conklin going to stay? They bring in Deegan Rose from inside the Valley. They want to run the ball, but are they going to use a QB more next year? We'll see.
And at the end of the day, the better your passing offense is, the better your rushing offense is. You can do RPOs. And the thing is, will it be Deegan Rose, or maybe will Matt Entz look at the transfer portal? I don't know the answer to that.
Complementary football, I think, is what's needed because the rushing attack can only get you so far, especially in these games late in the year.
Well, hopefully they can end their Mountain West Conference run with the win against Miami, Ohio. Now from the football field to the track. The track and field team is now in season. On Saturday, the Dogs competed at the Silver State Invite in Reno. The Dogs won the 4,000 medley relay with a time of 12 minutes and 30 seconds. The Dogs also took 9th place in the 4x4 in relay with a time of 3 minutes and 56 seconds. It will be over a month before the Dogs return to action in the Spokane Sports Showcase on January 16th and 17th. We now know the 2026 spring schedule for the Fresno State softball team. The Dogs will play 24 times at home, starting their season with the Fresno State tournament against Idaho State and Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. The Bulldogs opened up conference play at home against Utah State on March 13th. This will be head coach Charlotte Morgan's first season leading the Dogs.
Fittingly, the baseball team schedule was also released. The back-to-back conference champions are back for one final time in the Mountain West. The Diamond Dogs open up the season against Utah at home on February 13th. The Bulldogs will also have multiple midweek matchups against teams like Sacramento State, Cal Poly, and Long Beach State. Now, the water polo season starts once we come back from the holiday. The schedule isn't released yet, but should be out soon. The Water Dogs had a great season last year in the GCC. They went 6-1 in the conference and 14-8 overall. Both Brooke Ochoa and Abby Simhauser graduated. They were two of the team's best offensive players. One returner to watch is Haley Andress. She was the second highest scorer on the team last year. The team hopes to get another chance at the championship after losing it in the final game last year.
Women's tennis is preparing for this upcoming season. Last season, they had a record of 14 wins and 9 losses. But the team during Mountain West play was shut out by the competition. They fought hard, but the Dogs lost against Boise State 4-0 in the conference tournament. Women's tennis is set to start this season facing the Fresno Pacific Sunbirds. The Lady Dogs are chasing their first Mountain West title since 2018. Now reporter Ryan Leonardo is in studio with a sports photographer.
Thank you, Evan. I'm here with George Orozco, who is the sports photographer for Fresno State Athletics. He's been helping with athletics for 2 years. Now, you were in the military and did pictures for them. So what was that experience like?
It was a great experience. It was a chance to learn a little more structured photography basis on how to tell a story, how to correctly tell it, and how to correctly photograph it.
Now, I know the military had specific things they looked for in pictures. Kind of give a brief understanding of what that they look for.
Pretty simple. Just be able to tell a story correctly without any chance of manipulation or anything to that picture. Make sure uniforms were correct, flags, caps, everything was put on, not leaking any sensitive data or any sensitive information as far as locations or anything like that with the proper permission first.
Now, switching from military and then going to sports, what was that switch like, and what are some of the different ways that you've learned to take pictures?
The transition was different. I went from something that was structured to kind of doing my own thing now that I'm out of the military. Sports photography has always been an interest of mine since I was little. Now that I get a chance to do it, it was a difficult road, but it's gotten me to where I'm at right now, and it's knowledge that only keeps on giving. Every day's a different lesson that I keep learning. So.
Well, thank you, George. That's all the time we have. If you want to learn a little bit more about George, our reporter Nick Cummings has a story this Wednesday about how George's tattoos explains his story.
Coming up on Fresno State Focus on sports, we took a look at the college football playoffs and who's in.
Plus, we look at how the NFL is shaping up in the final weeks of the season. All that and more when we come back from the break.
I got the bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head. Up in my head.
I got that bulldog spirit. Up in my head. Up in my head to stay. I got that bulldog spirit. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart.
Got that bulldog spirit. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart to stay.
I got that bulldog spirit.
Down in my toes. Down in my toes. Down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit.
Down in my toes. Hey!
Down in my toes to stay. I got that bulldog spirit. Up in my head, deep in my heart, down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit. All over me to stay. I got that bulldog spirit.
Deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart, deep in my heart. I got that.
The College Football Playoff Committee released its final bracket. The matchups are set. The top 4 seeds got a bye, while the higher seeds in the remaining matchups are hosting a game. 2 of the 4 first-round games will be rematches. Alabama looks to avoid a 3rd straight loss to Oklahoma, while Tulane looks to avenge the 35-point loss to Ole Miss. Last year, Ohio State won it all as an 8 seed. Which one of the lower seeds do you think could win it all this year?
I know we're going to touch on coaches just here in a little bit, but looking at the path to the championship, Ole Miss, if they can get it done without a coach, the path isn't horrible. That being said, I still have Georgia making it all the way. They're a very tough team. I got the Bulldogs going.
Not so fast, my friend. Let's not forget about that team up in the Northwest, the Oregon Ducks.
Says an Oregon fan. Keep going.
They can be this year's Ohio State. They're finally healthy. They got Decorian Moore back, Sadiq at tight end, a 3-headed monster in the backfield. Oof, I wouldn't want to play him. And if they get past James Madison, though, they got to take on James Rodriguez and that Texas Tech defense.
But look at these Big Ten teams, the 1 and the 2, Indiana and Ohio State. They had that matchup in the Big Ten championship. Indiana came out with it. If they meet again, I think that's the game that everyone wants to see. 1 versus 2. If they meet there, Ohio State's doing it again. I could see them coming back.
I don't know if they will, though. I think a dark horse, if they could just muster up some offense, could be Oklahoma and John Mateer. It's just, I don't even know if they get past Alabama the way they're playing right now on offense. But
whoever wins that matchup has to go into Indiana or play Indiana. Kurt Signetti. Google him. We've Googled him. He wins, so we'll see.
And staying in the college landscape, 2 former Fresno State coaches are on the move. Tim Skipper is going to be the new head coach at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Skipper coached Fresno State last season and was at UCLA this year. He now gets to show what he has to offer as a head coach without the interim tag. Also, Lane Kiffin, who was a student assistant under legendary Pat Hill. Kiffin is leaving Ole Miss for the Bayou and the LSU Tigers.
Teams are battling for a spot as the NFL playoffs are about a month away. The number 1 seed Bears went to Lambeau Field to face on the Green Bay Packers over the weekend in a key matchup. Jordan Love and Christian Watson connected on 2 touchdowns, including this 41-yard strike, to give the lead for the Packers just before the half. Chicago almost retained that 1 seed, but was stopped by K9 Keyshawn Nixon right here, who picked the ball off in the end zone, sealing the win for the Packers 28-21. Meanwhile, the Denver Broncos keep their first place in the AFC, calmly beating the Las Vegas Raiders without their special teams, and Marvin Mims. Does he get tackled? No. He's taking it down the sideline. Him and the Broncos move to 11-2 on the season. Whew! Lots of divisions are coming down to the wire. See the AFC South, NFC North, NFC West. Those divisions, they're battling for their division, also the 1 seed in the whole NFC. Which teams are contenders, which teams are pretenders?
Contenders, as much as I don't want to say it, the Packers, they took care of business against the Bears, and if Jordan Love can protect that football and not turn it over, I really do think they can go far in the playoffs. With that stout defense, Josh Jacobs in the backfield, watch out. But let's not forget about down south, the Rams. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, former Bulldog, by the way, and Matthew Stafford having arguably the best season of his career. I don't know.
Is that the MVP of our league, Matthew Stafford?
At this point, he's got to be.
Might be. But looking over at the AFC, you have Drake May. Of course, you have Josh Allen in Buffalo. But the way that Sean Payton has turned this franchise around in Denver, Peyton Manning leaves. They have some dark years. He comes in, the Russell Wilson experiment, that doesn't work. Bo Nix comes in. It's a reason why they're the 1 seed in the AFC.
Bo Nix, where's he from? Where do you play from?
Oregon. Always talking about Oregon Ducks.
Let's not forget about the Eagles, though. I mean, if they can just, put that offense on the field and actually get it going, I do think they can be back-to-back Super Bowl
They've done it once. I could see them doing it again. We're already in Week 15. This has flown by. We'll see how it all ends up. Now let's turn over to the NBA. It was a busy weekend in the NBA for some West Coast teams. After having his lowest scoring game since 2007, LeBron James had a bounce-back game in Philly, scoring some clutch buckets to win the game for the Lakers. And check out this Selly on side. I mean, that's my king right there. Now over to the Warriors. They traveled to Chicago and got a big win with some contributions from Jimmy Butler and Quentin Post. As for the Clippers, they lost in a close game to the Minnesota Timberwolves, now falling to second to last in the Western Conference. Ouch time for the Clippers. But, I mean, we're talking about NBA. It's the Thunder season. I think they're going back-to-back.
And we gave them that one loss, the Portland Trailblazers.
Your team.
It just seems like my teams keep coming up in the show. I
That's
don't know.
crazy. It's like you produced it or something. That's crazy. Thunder, I think they're going back-to-back. That one loss, I mean, Shea's not even playing in the fourth quarter. They're going to get J-Dub back here soon. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's the Thunder and the team to be in the playoffs, and I don't know if anyone can really put up with them.
Yeah, let's stop talking about your teams because that's our show. That's the final sportscast of this semester. It's in the books.
But don't worry, we still have one more Fresno State Focus newscast on Wednesday, and Ryan Leonardo will be bringing your focus on sports then.
We'll see you on Wednesday for the final newscast of the semester.